previously on the 50% Doctor Who podcast. This is when you repeat some sentences that you said in part 1.
I just think it was shit. No, I liked it. I don't mind it. I think it's good.
Wow, that intro was so good, Aidan. Amazing.
Yeah, wow.
Wow. Bonjour.
I haven't seen you since last week. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
This as well. How was your week being, Connor? Because we
was
went straight
right.
into it.
Yeah, it was good. Not really, actually. No. Work's been stressful, but I'm happy to be here talking about my favourite Doctor Who spin-off, which is Torchwood.
Not Class?
No.
Sorry, I thought we were here for Class.
No, we will do Class.
We will.
So probably at the end of Pete Zero, we'll do Class.
Mm-hmm. We will.
Seems
or maybe
about right.
Maybe even we'll do it in the time that it is. Like
that could be
series
cool. We
9
could do
or
it between
something.
season 9 and 10.
Yeah.
Because there was that fat break with a year, and then we only got the
thick boy.
We only got Class
And Return of Dr. Mysterio.
That's right, actually, true.
Guys, today we are talking about Torchwood Series 1. This is part 2 of our Torchwood special. So we were supposed to cover the first 6 episodes in part 1, but we got talking. I only did the first 5.
Aidan rambled so much, honestly.
I can't control myself. I'm
kidding.
such a shit host. So this is part 2, and we're going to cover episodes 6 to 13, as well as a bit of a pre-ramble. If you're new around here, subscribe to us over on YouTube. You can watch the footage, as well as extra bits of bonus content, trailer breakdown for Legends of the Sea Devils, and all that kind of things. You can reach out and talk to us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor. We like to know your opinions on the episodes that we're going to talk about. Also, one thing that I keep meaning to say, but never do, is drop us a review over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. If you drop them there, I might even read them on the show.
Apple
even if they're shit,
it
could be funny.
Yeah, I read pretty much every review I get sent, so...
No, I'm talking about drop us a review for the podcast.
Oh, a review for the actual podcast? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look,
all right.
It helps us out when you drop reviews and things like that. So
it does. It's a 5-star podcast on Spotify.
There is no more, no less.
Do you need to hear anything else?
Unless you're saying good things, podcast. I will not read it out.
Okay.
That's a lie.
Digging for hate.
Digging for likes.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
I was about to say something. I'm so glad I didn't say it.
No, you're not.
This
is your last chance.
No, I can't. I'll get in trouble. I'll tell you after the show. Okay. I'm so glad I didn't say that. All right. I want to say it, but I can't. I'm sorry. You'll just be like, you literally will cut it out. So.
Well, okay, you tell me whilst we play the intro. So everyone's going to hear the intro. Connor's going to tell me it.
You can still hear me, though.
No, I'll cut it out because I had the intro in properly in post.
Okay.
Let's do it. This is 50% Torchwood edition.
50, 50, 50. 50, 50, 50. 50, 50, 50.
Okay, well, that was funny, what Connor told me, but you guys will never know.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Yeah, so episode 6 to 13. Let's waste no more time. We did so much rambling in the last episode. Let's get straight into episode 6.
Oh, I love this episode.
Which is a fan favorite episode. It is Countryside.
Written by Chris Chibnall.
Written by Chris Chibnall and directed by Andy Goddard. I think he's directed a bit of Who before.
Goddard, sir.
What do you think of Countryside? Oh, he did a bit of Daredevil.
Hey,
I remember reading him. And he did The Next Doctor. Oh, God. But he's done 6 episodes of Torchwood, so that's interesting.
Iron Fist, Punisher.
2013 Dracula. Not
Luke Cage. Daredevil. He did every Marvel Netflix show
not
except
the
for
Defenders.
Jessica Jones. All Defenders.
Not the Defenders.
Okay.
God forbid.
Davis quite a big director.
Countryside, baby.
That's awesome. That's so cool.
What do you think of Countryside?
I love it. It's my favorite episode of the season. It's so good. I love how scary it is. It scared the absolute shit out of me as a kid. I remember it was on UK TV, and I watched it a little bit as a kid. I think I said, it's one of the only episodes I saw after episodes 1 and 2. And it scared the hell out of me. And the best part of the episode is it's not aliens, it's actually humans, and it shows how fucked humankind can be.
It's like a human horror. Like, it's
real. It is spooky. And I showed... So one episode I showed my girlfriend, and I was like, I want you to watch this episode because I feel like this is a really good representation about how different Torchwood is to Doctor Who. And she said she could see some parallels to Doctor Who because it is the same like writers and stuff and the same, BBC. It's the same everything, to be fair. But I was interested to see what she thought about it because I was like, this episode is my favourite episode of the whole show, I think. I haven't rewatched any in a while, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love it. I think it's so good. And it's really scary. And it's beautiful location work.
Mm-hmm.
The hub isn't in it, which I said in part 1. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen that. The hub isn't in it, which I think is a really good change.
It's fun to get the entire Torchwood crew. I know it's obviously not a holiday, but it is always nice when it's
Torchwood
like,
goes on holiday.
we're going away for a bit. We're going to bring some tents. We're going to set them up in the hills. It's going to be nice and lovely, all right? Yeah, man, I love this episode too. I love the setting. For me, I'm not sure what it's like where you grew up in the UK, but for me, I'm from a small town called Kendal.
Wow.
You know where Kendal is? Let me know. If you know where Burnside is, then oh my god, I'll fly over and give you a hug wherever you are right now.
Love it.
Burnside is where I really grew up. So Kendal's like the town, and then Burnside is like a village, like a tiny village. And it's out. You got to go through country lanes that are like 1 car wide that go both ways. Like
that's
you have
weird.
to like.
Okay, they do that. Yeah,
it's so weird because you have to like pull up from side to the side
to
and
let
reverse.
someone pass.
It's ridiculous. Like everyone in the UK is like, yeah, that's just our roads, but we're like, excuse me, our roads are like you can fit like 4 cars on like one.
And it's scary when you go. I remember going back in 2016 and being like, because my auntie lived in like a very similar place to this, like you, and it was like a 10-minute walk to the pub, and it was pitch black, a massive road, her house, and the pub, and there was nothing between it, but
it's just pitch black. There's
just
no lights.
The countryside, and it was fucking freezing.
Yep.
And cars would eventually go past you, sort of just doing an awkward way to each other as you drove. It went very separate ways, and it was terrifying.
Yeah.
And it was fucking freezing because it was December. It was so cold.
Burnside is like, you got to do like 15 minutes of driving in country lanes like that to get there. And you don't, like, during the day, you usually see cars, but I'm pretty sure, like, I've never passed another car at nighttime there. Yeah. So for me, that opening scene
is so good.
So fucking good, because ever since I watched that really young,
you were like, this could happen to me.
Every time I've been back to the UK, I've been driving at night, and I'm like,
what's that coming over the hill?
Nana,
is it
if you
monster?
see a body, we're not getting it. Yeah, that's great. That's a great song.
Such a great song to play in the
just
background.
like, that's so smart as well, laying a body in the ground, and then you get out, you look at it.
It's scarily something that would happen. There is the cliche of someone leaving their car, but
I feel like you would.
But I feel like you
see
would.
A body in the ground, you just
But you would.
Yeah.
It's like what else would you do? I guess call the police, but they had that thing where it's like she lost the reception with her dad.
Yeah.
So she couldn't call
they
the police.
Set that up. But 100%, like, I think the getting out of the car thing is totally justified.
But you would.
I would get out of my car in that situation.
It's kind of like, oh, would you? But then you're also like, hang on a minute, if you were in that situation.
I definitely would. I 100% would.
Pretty creepy.
If I saw a body in the middle of the road, I would 100% go to it.
Ugh. Scary. It's scary.
Yeah, it is scary. Just seeing it like dart around in the background is like
it's
terrifying.
Certainly spooky.
And then even when they get, I kind of just want to rewatch this episode again now.
It's great. It really is good. It's scary. It splits the team up as well. And
yeah, that's all good. And all the team get stuff to do.
Oh, totally.
Which is so good.
The
like,
team dynamic is awesome.
Tosh and Yanto is a great little dynamic.
That's a great team up, and even him being different to them, and it's like, I see it all in your eyes when something bad happens, you love it. And a great line from Tosh is like, you want me to apologize for that? You really do finally get to see Tosh getting thrown into her element. She's not just a tech person. She actually can...
She's doing so much more.
So much more in the field. And she actually is like a fucking badass and a great character.
Bad bitch.
Gwen gets shot. The episode felt like it's got stakes.
It did. She got shot close range with a shotgun.
And she's like...
And she survives pretty easily. Like, I know she's fucked for a few minutes... But then, like, she's, like, jogging around later on and stuff. And it is kind of like...
The only thing I really saw her do was, like... When she gets... At the end of the episode, they all get thrown to that house. She's just kind of just like...
Someone's hit me.
I'm pretty sure you couldn't walk.
Yeah.
Like, at all. If you let that go...
I think...
You have fun with it.
Yeah, I think she... I'm no doctor. But in real life, I feel like she might have died. But, hey...
Yeah.
Because shotguns, like, disperse, right?
Yeah, it's like... Almost like... Pebbles almost.
Yeah.
There are a few too many shots for me with the
the POV shots.
I'm like, anime, they could see you. Like with the camera shot, he was like halfway peeking out of a tree, and it's just like Jack and Gwen and Owen like 10 meters ahead, and they're all just like talking like this. I'm like, anime, they could definitely see you, but it's spooky, but it gets done way too much.
It does.
And there is the cliches of like turn around and the character's gone, but I kind of liked it. It was fun and it was scary and it scared the shit out of me as a kid.
It was, and when they're confined into the building, like all the stuff in the pub's good when it's intense, and it's the classic. Did you check the cellar? No, or whatever. But
the episode does give me the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah. But then when they're in the house and there's like the bodies hanging and shit like that.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
All the shoes downstairs. It kind of this is probably a horrible parallel.
Yeah,
it reminded me of the Holocaust.
Yeah, no, that's I think what it's kind of meant to be like. Yeah,
it reminded me of that. And then they open up the fridge and it's just all the meat in there. And that woman comes down. She's like in cahoots and you know she is, but they don't know that. And then she brings them in and it's just like...
so tense in that house setting.
It's
and
spooky,
even
man.
like the runaway car I thought was quite good when it's like they get distracted so they could steal the car and lead it.
That
it's
is
all part of
good.
a plan.
That is good. It really is a good episode. I really loved them on it. The team dynamic was awesome. Yanto's girlfriend gets brought up, like I said. There's that drama between Toshno and the Gwen and Owen.
The Gwen and Owen stuff's back. Yeah.
I don't think they had sex yet. Or maybe they had. I don't know.
Either way. They had. I think it's at the end of episode 5 they fuck.
Okay, so there you go.
It's not.
It's in this episode, I think, but they had shared a kiss.
Okay.
So
it was just the kiss.
She knows, and there's drama, and the scene that fucking scared me so much as a kid is when the police rocked up. I remember, like...
Yes!
I watched the episode with my parents. I remember being, like... I was, like, literally watching it through my mum's hands like this. And when the police came up, I was like...
Ha!
And he's like, ha, ha, ha. I'm like, ah! Yeah. And I was just like, no!
I feel that.
Yeah. It's
No,
just
they're
terrifying. It literally scared the absolute shit out of me as a kid. And it works so well in it. It's such a great episode. And I loved that I was watching this going like, yes, Chris Chibnall, write more stuff like this, please.
That last line is terrifying as well.
Oh, because it
made me happy.
Yeah, that actor's from Game of Thrones. He's actually really good.
Yeah, he is.
He just does such a great job at playing this he just has like this look, this like emptiness.
And I love Gwen being like, I need to know.
Yeah.
I need to know why I do this. I thought, does Jack drive like the Torchwood car into the house or something, or like a
the
forklift
tractor?
or something?
That's
The tractor.
kinda dumb.
Yeah, that was dumb.
Do you know, funniest thing I watched, is it Torchwood Unclassified or something?
Yeah, declassified, I think. Yeah.
Whoever did the score, I don't think it's Maury Gold, but either way.
It's not.
Whoever did the score, it's like, I was really tired one night. He literally says about that scene, it's like, I was really tired one night, I had to write the score for that scene. And he comes in on a tractor, so I just started playing on the piano. Here he comes on a tractor. Here he comes on a tractor. And literally, every time it plays, so I'm like, that's the shit. Because he like started saying that, and that's how he wrote the piece. So every time it plays, I'm like, here he comes on a tractor. Here he comes on a tractor. That's how he wrote it. And I'm like, fuck, that's so funny.
That's very good.
Great episode. And then it ends with Gwen shagging Owen, which is questionable, but
I like the scene, to be honest. I like
no one I can talk to about it.
Yeah, I didn't mind
Owen
it.
comes out at the end. Great episode.
Out of 10?
I think I gave this episode a pretty high score. I gave it a 8.5 out of 10.
So did I, my friend.
Wow, we're hitting it with the scores.
Surprisingly similar in our scores so far, because for me, I really hated the first half of the season, and it's kind of relatively uphill from here. But I thought that you were going to froth the other episodes, but you've been pretty real, and you have given some solid ratings.
Rose-colored glasses.
Yeah, no, but like I thought that was going to make you give them higher than you should, but you've been maybe mildly higher than me for most of these scores.
I didn't rate the episodes until I don't know if you did this, but I waited till I finished the series to rate them. I didn't rate them after I watched them.
No, I did them episode by episode.
Okay, so then I actually looked back at it as a series as a whole, and I think that affected my reviews a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think I was fair.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Episode 7 is Greeks
Toby.
bearing.
It's so awesome to see him write an episode for Torchwood.
Yeah. So, written by Toby Whitehouse and directed once again by Colin Teague. Toby Whitehouse has written a whole bunch of Doctor Who. Some classic episodes in there. Was it Girl Who Waited and God Complex he wrote?
He didn't write Go Away, but yeah, he wrote God Complex, Town Called Mercy, Score Reunion, Under Lake, Before the Flood, Pyramid
Loads.
in the World, which is a terrible episode, by the way, which is the last episode he ever wrote, which is sad. But
yeah.
I really love this episode.
No, Lie of the Land.
Lie of the Land.
That's it. Vampires of Venice.
That's it.
Was him as well.
Yes, he did. Sorry, Pyramid in the World was not him, yeah.
Yeah.
Vampires of Venice, yeah. I love this episode.
Do you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
It didn't do a lot for me.
Word. I shouldn't say love, but yeah.
I like that it was Tosh centered. It felt like the first time we got a bit of her, a bit more in countryside, but this was the first time, we really spent an episode getting to know her.
Yeah.
I thought there was some great stuff. There was an excellent line. I wish I remembered what it was, but when Tosh is like walking around and she can hear everyone's voices. This is the episode where she hears everyone's voices.
With a necklace,
right? She hears everyone's thoughts
read people's
with a necklace.
thoughts.
Yeah. And so we need to make sure that we are professing what these episodes
I hate when
are.
I do that. Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of people probably
I know.
aren't
I hate
rewatching
when I do
all
that.
of
I
Torchwood.
always think that.
Yeah.
I'm always like, that's maybe so unappealing about the podcast is that people might not remember.
I think with Who episodes they do, but because Torchwood probably
Yeah.
people might have only watched it once or
Torchwood
so.
is Doctor Who. Yeah, I feel like we kind of get away with it, but I also think we do a good job of explaining it.
Yeah,
We do
yeah.
talk. Doctor Who. Fuck's sake, I can't talk today. Yeah,
But this episode was all right. I thought the CGI monster was shit.
it looks terrible. Yeah.
But I thought all the things she was hearing, I thought it was really funny and effective. And I felt the pressure as different as it was building and it was talking around her. I thought that was good.
Yeah.
And there was just some really fucking funny lines that people were saying. She's like, "What's that woman staring at?" And
Yeah.
like some other, like there was one really rude one that was funny.
Yeah.
And then the scene where she knows that guy's gonna kill someone and that's how, or kill his family.
That scene is so weird.
It is weird, but it was like,
I was thinking about the other day when we went to the park that one time. He just brings out a shotgun. She's like, "Ah, oh my god!"
and I said I
don't
wanted
do
to
it."
fucking kill you.
It's so weird. I was thinking, she gets like, I was like, I was thinking the other day, and he just pulls out a shotgun and go kill his family because his wife is fucking some other guy.
Stand up for grease-bearing gifts. Why do you like it?
I just think the idea is awesome. I hate people. My best friend Mitch is like, we always talk about. I say if I got a superpower, I would have speed. I'd love to run fast. And he's like, I don't like to read people's minds. And I say that's a terrible idea.
I hate that.
Terrible idea. And I always bring up this episode because I'm like, there's this episode of Torchwood, which is a Doctor Who spin-off, and I'm like, look, man, if you watch the episode, you'd see why you wouldn't want to do it.
Yes,
I
sir.
feel like it could be good in small examples. Small examples. I remember when I was single, I was like, I don't know if this girl likes me. I guess she could put it on quickly and she could be like, oh, he's sexy or he's
But maybe
shit.
that's ruins the thrill of it.
It could, exactly. He's shit. He's sexy. Who knows?
What's the difference?
Exactly, they're both the same thing. Who knows? I think that's the only time I thought I could use it if I was like single. But
Yeah, it is a cool concept. Same with
It's a
Ghost
really
Machine.
cool
It's a cool
concept.
concept, but I just don't know if it got
fair enough.
used too well. Tosh was good though.
I just really like
Tosh.
Tosh's character, and it does a really good job, I think, of showing like Gwen and Owen's relationship. It does a really good, it's a really cool way of showing it through the Force.
Oh, that was cool because she hears that stuff. Man, I'm probably
Yeah.
a bit too harsh on this episode.
Yeah,
but
that's really cool. And I think Toby did such an amazing job writing thoughts. Like, the way he did it was like stuff. I remember there were so many times in the episode I was like, I thought that. You think
Yeah.
stuff without thinking. And that's a line in the episode.
Yeah.
You don't even know you're thinking it. And it's such a true thing where when you meet someone, I don't know if you know this, it doesn't matter who it is, you instantly judge them.
Yeah.
You instantly see parts of them you don't like and like.
Yeah.
No
Look at
matter
this
who it
guy
is.
with his Teddy Fresh. So-
Elton John cried out about
I
it.
just thought of something really funny.
What?
I was watching your Legend of the Sea Devil, Why It
Yeah.
Needs to Succeed on YouTube.
Yes, yeah.
And you made that joke in it. You can watch it over on the 50% Doctor Who Podcast YouTube channel.
That's right, yeah.
And you're like, me and Aidan always joke about me wearing Teddy Fresh on the show
Yeah.
and stuff. And I literally watched it and I was like, do we?
Well, no, because I texted you saying I ordered another Teddy Fresh jumper. So
And I
can
remember
wear it.
you telling me that and I was like, great.
Oh, no, don't say that. Oh, you hate my jokes.
Well, no, I just didn't know what Teddy Fresh was when you messaged that to me. So I was like, I guess it's a jumper
My
brand.
favorite podcast, the Linktree podcast, is Ethan's wife, Ela, has a clothing brand.
And that's it.
And that's it, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so it's
Gotcha.
not, but I always wear Teddy Fresh in my bonus videos. Oh, you don't know? I always wear Teddy Fresh in my bonus videos.
Yeah. Okay.
Fuck. That sucks.
No, it makes sense. I thought about it, but I was just like, I don't think we've ever been like, how funny is it that every time?
I
in
am
every
funny.
video.
I just meant you. I thought you brought it up. All right. I'm sorry.
No, be sorry.
Myself. It's all right.
I just thought it was funny.
Oh,
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, fair enough.
Cannot laugh. Hilarious. Out of 10, Greek sparing gifts.
I've got for Greeks, but by the way, the ending sucks and it's terrible, which I think ruins the episode for me quite
What
a
was
lot.
the ending?
It's like, you need to go now. And it's like, you're got my spaceship, which is where they found it. At the beginning, it starts with like, it's so obviously, it's meant to be set in the 1800s. It's so obviously not. It's just people wearing costumes.
Yeah,
It's so obvious.
yeah.
And then like, they keep finding bodies where it looks like the heart's been ripped out and it's actually the villain, the alien, which is what she is. And that rock was the spaceship. And then Jack, it's such a dumb end. It's like Jack actually fixed it where she can't teleport away. And she grabs it, she's like, okay, I'll give it to you. She's about to kill Tosh. She's like, give me the ship. And then they get the ship, and she's like, I can't go away. And then she just like explodes and blows up. And I like at the end they decide to destroy the pendant instead of keeping it, which is a good ending. I gave it 7 out of 10 because I actually really like the episode. I think it's fun.
Mine's definitely too harsh, but 5 out of 10. I didn't really enjoy it at the time, but looking back, it does have some cool concepts.
It does, and I think it's an episode that followed Countryside, which was really good. Which I was like, okay, now we're on a bit of a winning streak. Until we get to this episode.
Well, the next episode I've definitely rated slightly higher than I should.
Okay.
But the next episode is They Keep Killing Susie. So this is the episode where Susie, who died in the first episode, member of Torchwood, she comes back to life, or they have to bring her back to solve a mystery, isn't it? Something like that?
Yeah, so...
and then she possesses
They
Gwen.
find bodies, and it's like Torchwood is written in blood. And they find out that the person, they bring that person back with the glove, and they're like, they knew Susie, and it was like a part of this weird club that Susie was a part of. And they keep all the bodies in Torchwood. I think it's a really interesting thing. It's like, when you die, they keep your bodies.
But they only have like 8, like 10, 15 body things, like freezers.
I think they made a comment about that. I think there's a comment that's like, one day we run out of space, what happens then? Because like, there's a line about how like when they all die, they get put in there. It's part of the rules. There's even a really interesting line in, I think it's the semi-final. No, it's the final where Owen's about to leave, and basically they kill anyone who leaves Torchwood because they have all the information.
No, they don't kill them.
They
wipe the memories.
Wipe all the memory. That kind of stuff I think is really
cool. Because that was in the
cool.
premiere as well. They were going to do that to Gwen.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good idea of like, you're right, the overarching plot of the really dysfunctional team, which eventually is going to turn to shit and it's going to ruin their lives, which it does.
Yeah.
All the team members get affected. They either die or they ruin their lives.
Yeah.
So that's an overarching theme.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's a cool idea again. I feel like a broken record. I just feel like this is a great idea, and the glove is a really cool idea.
It is. One of my favorite parts was like, they come in pairs. I think Ianto says
line.
that. That was
the thing about gloves, sir. They come in pairs. It's like after they make that line about the stopwatch, how long you can nut.
Stopwatch nut.
Awful.
This episode was directed by James Strong, our boy, and written by Paul Tomlin and Dan McCullough. James Strong directed a lot of Who.
It's a great title. They Keep Killing Susie.
Yeah,
it's really cool. It's a really cool name. But then like, there's just this weird plot where they switch boys with Gwen. Gwen starts getting like a banging headache,
pulling the energy from her.
It's because the bullet is. I do like the makeup department. You could tell with Susie, they slowly. She slowly starts to get more like life.
Yeah, and it was cool when you could see the open wound on the head as well. Like
the open wound looked really cool, and you could slowly see that Susie was getting more blood in her system, which I thought was really cool.
And that Gwen was getting weaker. And
Gwen was getting weaker.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest. I watched the first half of this episode and was like, oh fuck, it's another one that I'm not interested in. And then like the last like act, or maybe even like the midpoint, halfway through, I was like, oh, this is actually getting kind of interesting. And then I really loved it by the end. Like, I still think the first half was batshit boring. Yeah. But when it got to the whole point of it's like, you know, this person's coming back to life, but it's at the cost of someone else dying. And there's like morals and ethical questions involved there. It's like, I thought it was quite interesting. And having Jack, you know, sprint down onto the docks at the end was quite emotional. And it, to me, like, the stakes felt quite high. Like, I understand why Gwen was doing what she was doing.
Her kindness almost.
Yeah, kindness almost kills her. Yeah, totally.
Though my only issue was it kind of felt like the ending of Greek's Burning Gifts, where it was just another character who was being like held hostage almost, and they finally save her at the last second, and it's
like I said, it's like so many of these episodes just feel like they're all the same.
You're right. Yeah.
Doctor Who's so perfectly placed most of the time, where it's like, you know, you have a space episode, you have a historical, present day, and it always feels... I don't think there's ever been a series where there's been like...
story or something. Yeah.
There's always a good variety. I don't think there's ever been a series that I've watched where I've been like, okay, we've had too many of the same types of episodes. Yeah. Maybe around 6 and 7, but I think that was more the format
sometimes,
of the series.
But that's just TV shows, I think.
Exactly.
This sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so I did quite enjoy this one by the ending. So
it's a good episode that I think just lacks a little bit. This is episode 8, right?
Yes.
Okay, I gave episode 8 a 6 out of 10.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. So did you give me your Greeks Bearing Gifts rating?
Did I not? I gave that a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I didn't type it in anyways.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if I said it, yeah.
Yeah, I also enjoyed Susie a lot more in this episode than I did in the first.
Yeah, she's in Game of Thrones and she's in the new Kenobi show as well. So she's a pretty big actress now.
I thought that when Jack shoots Susie, it was so like he could have just shot her once, but instead he's like, poof, 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 poof. This guy's a fucking murderer, man. I also love like how big his fucking headpiece is.
Dude, that thing is so it goes like down here.
And there's characters with way smaller ones.
Dude, classic Bluetooth earpieces. I remember those bad boys.
And they're
hello, I got you on the hands free.
The car TVs were so shit as well.
Oh,
the little blue screens, they look horrible.
Torchwood. What a
bloody
show.
Torchwood. But something I liked about this episode was that once again it pushed through the theme of death, which has come up multiple times, and this was very much at the forefront of the series here, which I know goes on to season 2.
And
it's
continues.
A big part of series 2.
It is a very big part of season 2.
And I really do love that as a theme. Like, it's one of those themes that you couldn't spend the whole season of Doctor Who addressing death, but Torchwood can. And the whole, like, you know, what was it like for Susie in the dark? And she was like, you know,
there's nothing. That happens a lot. You hear about nothing.
Yeah.
And you hear there's something coming through the darkness, which I believe is what the thing at the end of the season is. It's just so fucking stupid. Yeah, I think that's what everyone kept referring to. There's something coming out the darkness.
That's not until season 2 they start talking about that, is it?
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I think in season 2 they talk about there being something in the darkness.
Oh man, if that was what,
because that's like the Grim Reaper or something, I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
I remember enjoying season 2 a lot more, so I'm excited to watch that.
Well, I was a bit gutted because other than Countryside, I was watching this episode and I didn't really know what the episodes were. And then so one night I watched the first couple of episodes and I looked through them, and all I sort of saw was like Countryside. I know I like, and that's one of my favorites. And then Out of Time is one of my favorites. But I looked at the other episodes and I was like, this is definitely the shitter season, because there's so many more episodes that I really like from Torchwood series 1 and 2, but they all must be in series 2, right? Like I remember, I think from Out of the Rain with the night circus, I remember really enjoying, and like all the stuff around Owen's death.
Yeah, Owen's death thing is really cool.
Yeah.
And even episodes that are kind of like really silly, like Gwen's wedding. I don't know if you remember that one.
Yeah,
it's so dumb.
I don't really remember the plot.
I think Toby Warehouse writes it, and it's so bonkers but so fun.
And Chibnall writes a fuck ton of good episodes in series 2.
Yeah, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. He writes it.
The premiere
season opener.
Yeah,
and there's Adam. There's an episode called Adam, which is really great. Meet, where Reese basically finally finds out about what Gwen's doing in Torchwood.
That's something that doesn't get sold too much in the finale.
No.
Yeah, we'll get there. Okay, so Keep Killing Susie was a 6. Let's move on to Random Shoes, which is the episode. It's very much a Torchwood light episode. We get a lot of Gwen, but other than that, everyone else is hardly in the episode. And it focuses around a young man. What's the name of the young man?
I can't remember.
Connor, I'm quizzing you here.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm quizzing you. Eugene Jones.
Eugene.
I did remember kind of liking this one as a kid. I think I liked Eugene.
Fuck this episode.
And he's like, "Hey guys, I'm Eugene here. I'm here. Why can't you see me? I'm dead."
Oh, fuck this episode.
You hate it?
I kind of hated it.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of hated it.
I think it's kind of fun.
It could have been so good if they did it well.
I think it's kind of fun.
It's
because I think Eugene's so silly.
Oh, he's fucking dumbass. I can't stand him.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
And my mate's placed all the bids.
I found an eye, and I would sell on eBay, and it's just my mates pulling my leg, and I swallowed it, and they try and get it out with a banana milkshake. What?
Why was there photos of random shoot? Sorry.
I don't know, and I didn't care enough to find out.
I know there is an explanation, because I remember watching it as a kid and being like, "That's why there's a photo of random shoes." But I watched it this time, and I must have checked my phone or something.
I don't remember, and I do remember when I rewatched it when I was like 16, being like, "That's why." But I remember I watched it this time. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Fuck this episode.
So Eugene's basically trying to. Him and Gwen's trying to figure out how this guy Eugene died, and Eugene is also figuring it out along the way, but is trying to help her figure it out. But he's dead. So he's a ghost. No one else can see him. But then they can at the end, and then he flies up into the sky. That was horrendous.
He saves her from a car.
Yeah, that was the purpose. That was why.
Eugene, we see you. And then Gwen kisses him.
Dude, Gwen
kisses Jack in this season. This Eugene guy and Owen.
And Reese.
And then Reese, who's our actual boyfriend, by
Paul
the way.
Yanto.
Yeah, Jansen needs a smooch.
He does at the end.
Mm.
I love that the
Happy
whole reason that Happy Cook.
The Happy Cook.
I love that the whole reason that he was around was to save Gwen from being hit by a car.
It's bonkers. He's meant to be this like genius who like basically just like fumbled last minute and choked and messed up his class or his school from winning in this championships, and his dad's recording and he's like, "Go on, you can do it. You fucking idiot.
Yeah.
You dumbass. What are you doing?" And his science teacher feels bad for him, so he gives him an eyeball. He's like, "I was playing golf one day and it fell out the sky. I put it in my pocket because I thought it was a golf ball. But when I got home, I realised it was an alien eyeball. Here, you have it." That's a normal conversation you have, isn't it?
I just thought in a series that all the episodes kind of felt the same, this one was a bit of a change of pace.
You are right with that fact.
Yeah, like it's not following the Torchwood format. It's and it's like it's funny. It's nice and lighthearted compared to a lot of the other ones, but also still feels like Torchwood grounded.
All right, like
what are you gonna say?
His dad at the funeral was just like, "Oh, daddy boy,"
Yes.
and I'm like, "This is so cringe." Like,
Yeah.
the pipes are calling. I'm just like got back from work watching this. I'm like, oh god, I can't do it.
That is fucked up though. Imagine being dead and being a ghost and watching your body like go into the cremation thing,
I was going to the other day, man.
You want to do that?
No, I want to see what people say about me.
No, I don't.
You see that meme where it's like your mum or something giving you your eulogy. It's like, you had a happy life, and then it's like the guy coming out the coffin because he didn't have a happy life, and you're trying to correct her. It's like, no, I didn't.
I hated it. I hated you.
It's like when they say you had a happy life. I kind of, this is gonna sound so morbid, but I do have songs I want playing at my funeral.
Yeah. I think about this a lot. As part of my work.
I planned that. Yeah, because you would know, wouldn't you?
What
would I play?
I don't know how to...
The Wombats, Queen. Who else do you like? That
we
guy
say
in the
goodbye
UK who
to
no one
Aidan.
knows.
Bar in Tokyo with the vampires and...
What's that song you say they play all the time?
There's loads.
Yeah.
There's loads.
Yeah.
Hilltop
Hoods played it one, didn't it?
They did, and I was like...
But people just must like... I'm sure there could be happier songs. People just like, he loved the Hilltop Hoods, so we'll play the Hoods. I love the Hilltop Hoods.
To say, I was never going to get into this on the podcast, but I guess it makes sense what we're talking about.
50%, maybe.
So I basically work in AV for funerals. So I, my main thing is I run live streams for funerals. So I have like a live stream kit and I go around and film funerals and people around the world can see them. Huge hit in COVID. But then I also run the music for funerals and things like that. So people like select the music, and then the company I work for put it on to like...
So you're a DJ?
Software. Sure. I press play, I put the sound up and down, all that needle. Kind of thing.
Sorry, wrong track.
A thing that I think about that...
You put it back on, put the needle back down.
A thing that I think about that I have to do sometimes, right, is depending on who the celebrant is, sometimes they want to press it from the lectern, but there's also a button on my desk that I can press it with. It's the committal button. So I press the button that literally opens up the door and sends the body in.
That's so morbid.
And I was literally like, I did it today for one, and I was like, wow.
You just sent someone.
I just sent that guy to... I mean, I know he's already dead, but to death, you know?
Yo, welcome everybody. That was Hilltop Hoods.
This is Greeny Production.
All right, everybody, what is going on? That was Cosby Sweater by Hilltop Hoods. We're going to play you another hot jam right now. Whilst we send this guy away. We didn't start the fire. Everyone give it up. This is Billy Joel. We didn't start the fire.
That's fucking funny.
This is Stairway to Heaven. Goodbye, everybody. He starts scratching.
Yeah,
God.
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I sit through like 4 funerals a day sometimes.
Wow,
like 5 days
so
a week.
Morbid, man.
Yeah, it's a good time.
You need to fucking start hitting those antidepressants like me just to get through the day. Jesus.
Yeah, it's a rough one. But you do get used to it, and you get desensitized. I've had Ava Maria heaps lately, and every time I think of it, I just think of the Batman and the Riddler just like looking through those glasses, going,
Oh God.
Ava Maria.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, that was a terrible rendition of Ava Maria.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. It's quite morbid, eh?
It is.
What a job.
It is a job.
It's a job. Hey, you know what? You got to pay. Keep the lights on.
Well, that's right. When I'm not making movies, I gotta do something. I make movies of your dead relatives.
I thought you'd said that already.
No, I think I said... I don't know. I think I said I work in live streaming.
Yeah.
I think I said on a YouTube video I work around a lot of dead people. So if you put that together...
I won't say it because I know you said you wanted to make a video about it in the future. But I remember I rewatched every episode to see how we can improve it. And I full on dropped where you used to work because you said, but then you said,
right.
You said
no,
don't say it.
No, I'm never going to talk shit about it.
But I remember watching the episode. I'm like, I just full on said where you used to work.
I used to work in fast food, so funerals is a step up from fast food.
I think you said fast food, but I don't know if you said what fast food restaurant.
Yeah, no, I used to always just say fast food. But, that was a tangent.
Yeah.
You just found out a lot about me and my grim life. Random shoes out of 10, Connor. I gave it a 7.
Is it episode 9?
Episode 9.
4.5 out of 10.
Oh my fucking Christ!
And that's being kind.
I feel like you're being harsher to this series than even I am. I just realised we've had the aircon on for both parts of this recording, which we usually don't do for sound. But
that's true. I was wondering why it's a bit more chilly in here. Normally I'm sweating my whole off.
I'm sorry. Do you want it off now?
For lack of a better word. Nah, it's alright. I don't want to.
Yeah, I don't know where the remote is. Okay, Connor's just leaving. That's fine.
That's alright. My back hurts all the time.
So episode 10.
It's been a long shoot.
Is Out of Time.
We gotta go back in time.
This is the episode where, I think this is a great episode.
Yeah, go on.
I don't like your attitude here, Connor.
Owen has some sexy time.
This is the episode where a plane rocks up with old people on. The plane's gone through the rift with some people from like the 40s in it, and they've just got to adapt to life in the 21st century. There is no villain, but like I said in The Waters of Mars, Connor, the villain is time itself.
Wow, I remember when you said that in that review, and I was like, "That's so good. That's such a great."
So good at film.
Yeah. Yeah, this episode again, man. I really fucking sound like a broken record. I do just think it's such a great idea.
The original,
you might say, huh?
I said be original, not the original.
You might say.
I did say.
Though some really cool ideas. I like when they go to the shops with Yanto, and then they have to get used to living life, and especially the bloke's like wife has passed away, but his son is still alive, but he's like in hospital with dementia. Was a really cool thing. The two women, one has a lot of sex with Owen. There's a lot of sexual jokes about the flying and the landing as they're humping each other in bed.
Yeah, in some good positions.
In some interesting positions.
Some good positions, I gotta say.
A lot of holding each other.
I was taking notes.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Saucy episode, folks. Wow. Oh, my God. Wow. Holy shit. I wasn't going to say it. The man said it himself. Wow. Wow.
So,
one other girl just wants to do a bit of a... The other girl reminded me of the main character in Last Night in Soho, who just wants to go to London and become a fashion designer.
Yes. God, Edgar's been watching too much Torchwood, hasn't he?
He's just like... I like how she gets drunk a few times. She's just like dancing around and she's like, "What are you doing?"
She was a bit bland, and Gwen came off a bit of a sook when she was like, "No, you can't go to London. You've got to stay here."
I'm your mother now.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
I liked the Owen and that girl dynamic. I know there was a lot of fuck you suck, but there was a lot of nice romantic dancing. I feel like we got to see a bit more of Owen in it, which was nice. It was one of the first episodes where we got to see a human side to Owen, which was lovely.
Yeah.
And then I thought the fashion designer girl was a little bit boring. I enjoyed what the dad was saying, like the older gentleman, and how he was he was out of time,
Quite literally.
All of his family, he had no reason to be there. I thought the scene where he was talking to, was it his grandson or his son?
His son,
with dementia
in the hospital
was
with dementia.
tragic.
Yeah, that was a really good scene.
Really good scene, and you kind of understand why he wants to kill himself at the end.
Crazy.
That being said, once again, Jack shouldn't have let it happen.
Yeah, he's just like, he's like, don't do it. He's like, I want to. He's like, yeah, all right, I'll do it with you.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's one of those things where, obviously, assisted dying is now legal in Perth.
Yeah, euthanasia.
Yeah. And that's like a valid thing, but you can't just let someone do it because they have
to
no
sign
life.
up to
you
it
know,
when they're still a sane
you gotta,
kind of mind.
they've got to do all sort of tests and things like that to make sure, right? But like this guy has been in modern day Cardiff for like a week or something, right?
Yeah,
like
it's literally 7 days.
He's really. You would be silly to be like, yeah, right, you've not enjoyed your 7 days in this time, you should die. Like, you've got to try and give him a fighting chance, right? You know?
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's that I have fucking PTSD from watching. Have you seen Ari Aster's movie Midsommar?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, the opening scene is the same, that thing with the car. It's a
that's
a way to kill yourself.
An amazing sequence.
And it's so terrifying. And when he
best sequence of the film.
He was doing that with the car, and I'm just like, and I didn't know what the fuck it was. And I was like, what is this? And I saw that just gave me like horrible.
Florence Pugh is
flashback.
incredible in that sequence.
Yeah, she's so good, man.
She's incredible.
Oh man, it's one of those things which is so hard to watch.
It is, yeah. I remember just being like, I'm hooked after this though.
Yeah,
like, it was
Ari Aster's fucking amazing. Can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only other thing I will say is like, Owen does really just fall for her over like, and it's like 7 days. Didn't know each other that long, and that line does get brought up. But
yeah,
these last 4 episodes are very connected, especially with Owen being depressed.
Yeah,
it goes into combat in the next episode, and it makes him open the rift.
So did his missus just fly through the rift? Did she just? Is that what happened? She went back in time, but we don't actually know if she made it back.
He basically says that like, you never know where you're gonna land. So yeah, she could have landed anywhere.
Yeah, sure.
Literally anywhere.
Into the jaws of a dinosaur.
She could have, yeah.
So this episode was written by Catherine Tregarna and directed by Alice Troughton once again. One of my favourite takeaways from this episode was that there was this thing that had been brewing in the background for a while, which was Gwen's private life and Torchwood. You know, there's a line where she's like, I don't know how to figure out what's my real life and what's Torchwood life. And I thought that was excellent because that's something I feel like I struggle with a lot because my kind of a wanky statement, my film life when I'm working with my film friends and stuff like that is crazy, and everyone's got crazy ideas, and it's always exciting, and we're talking about projects, and you know, we get to do really fun shit together, right? And then it's like I come home to my home life, and like with anyone's home life, it's, as the doctor would say, fish and chips, and not that I eat fish, but it is like, it's by no means a boring life, but it's normal life. You know
mundane,
what I mean?
I believe it's the word.
And no, but mundane implies it being boring, and I think normal life is meant to settle down, right? And so sometimes I really do struggle with that balance where I'm like, I wish my normal life was as exciting as when I'm doing these other like more exciting projects and things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that is just the nature of that, you know, like when you have a job like that you're passionate about, not film life goes on, funeral life.
Yeah.
That comes into my mundane, boring fish and chips life. But yeah, and I'm like, why can't I be spending every day on a great, cool film set and stuff, you know?
Yeah, I know. I had that issue with... I really struggle to fit everything in, I think. Like, whenever I'm filming here, it's like... all I can think about is like... Yeah, I gotta get home as well, and like, gotta do this, gotta cook dinner. Like, I gotta cook dinner and go home. Gotta do all that.
That's rough.
It's just like...
It's 9 p.m.
It's
8:30.
Yeah, it's 8:30. It's like, I keep thinking about like, you know... I struggle to fit this in normally. And it's just like... I want to do more projects, but I'm also like... What will that do for me, like, with my mental state and fitting everything in?
Yeah, it's
when I was single, it was easy because I could get home whenever I wanted and there was no one waiting there. But, you know, it's hard to fit everything in, man. And I wanted to work on it, but I feel like you never really do. Yeah,
it is hard. So I thought it was a very real
thing,
you know? Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that was very good. So you didn't like Out of Time as much because I did really enjoy it.
I didn't mind it. I gave it a 5.5.
5. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just liked, once again, a bit of a change of pace. There's no villain.
That was cool. I like how they do that. I wish Doctor Who did that a bit more.
Yeah.
When there's no villain, or even a midnight thing where you don't see it.
Yeah. I give this one an 8. I really did enjoy this one.
Wait.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, combat. So
Double trouble.
We
Noel
have
Clark and
not only John Barrowman, but Noel Clark. Gee whiz. So directed by Andy Goddard and written by Noel Clark. So this episode is weevils. People are capturing weevils and they're using them in fights and things like that.
That's such a great idea. I like it a lot.
Yeah, it is good. You like the episode?
I do. This one of the episodes that I was like, well, before I got my auntie to send me the box set of season 1 and 2, I was just researching episodes and I was like, this episode sounds really cool. And it kind of pushed me to want to watch this show again. Because I really like the idea of the show. And I really like it. And I think it's a really cool Owen episode. Owen's my favourite character.
There you go.
And the Weevils are great. Not much to it, even. But and I think the writing isn't great. Like, there's literally a scene in the episode that I really picked up on where it's like, we got to go tell his family that he's dead, and like they make it such a big deal out of it in the scene, and then it just cuts to Gwen walking out of the house, being like, "This is the worst part of my job." Like, hang on a minute, you just built up to doing it, and they don't even show it.
Yeah.
Not that I really needed to see it. I'm like, well, then why build up to it?
Yeah.
And it's kind of you just got to understand the emotion they're going through and
I get
the
that.
trauma that's going on with Torchwood. But I think it's a really good episode.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with it.
Similar with quite a few episodes of this show this season. I didn't really like the first half, but I kind of got into it by the ending.
Okay.
And I really got into it by the ending. I loved everything they were doing with Owen in it, and when he has to go into the ring, and I thought that was great. And when he's following the guy around and shit like that, like there was one scene that was maybe a goof where this guy, like, he walks in on Owen with a gun out to the Weevil, and then, like, he yells at Owen and Owen puts the gun away, and then Owen whips out his gun later in the scene and the guy's like surprised or something. Right. And I'm like, you walked in and he had the gun out already. Like, this doesn't make sense. I can't remember exactly what happened.
Like a continuity error.
It was just like a writing thing. Like, he should have known that he had a gun.
Okay, right.
I can't remember exactly how it plays out. I probably got that wrong, but there is something there that was silly.
Right.
I don't really have much to say on this one, though.
Yeah, me either.
Out of 10?
This is episode 11. I gave this episode 6.5. There isn't really much to it, I think, but
that's not a bad thing necessarily.
But you couldn't give it a bad rate, and I feel like I can still enjoy the episode.
Definitely.
Which is how I feel about it.
Episode 12.
This is a really good episode.
Captain Jack Harkness. So this is the episode where Jack and Toshiko get stuck great pair up. They get stuck in, I think, 1941. Yeah. 1941 in a Cardiff dance hall, and Yanto and Owen trying to figure out how to get them back
in the hub, and then Gwen's kind of investigating.
Yeah. And trying to figure out where they are.
In the dance hall. I think this episode is really good.
Yeah, we learn all sorts of things about Jack.
Yeah.
We learn about how he's he stole a name of someone else. I thought that was a good twist. This was a decent episode for Jack. It was the first episode since Small Worlds where I was like, I don't mind Jack in this one.
I really have always loved this episode. You're even going to see a Vote Saxon sign outside the thing, which is really fun.
I didn't pick up on it watching it, but yeah, now you say that, I remember seeing stuff online about it.
Because the season ties into the season 3 final.
Yeah, it does.
Obviously. And so the Saxon stuff is happening in the background, technically, like chronological, if you're talking about that. But this is a really good episode. The villain, I think his name's Higgins or something like that.
So that old man?
He's a really creepy guy, and I think the casting was perfect. He's a really scary bloke.
Just underutilized, hey?
Just underutilized, man. And in the last episode, he comes back, and I don't know what the fuck he was trying to do.
We'll get to that soon, but I don't know what the finale's about.
I don't care.
I don't understand it.
But you don't know that in this episode, and his motives just seem really creepy. He seems to be trying to fuck over the Torchwood team to open the rift, basically, because they get stuck. I don't know how they get taken back, but they do, and the only way to get them back is by opening the rift, which causes massive problems in the final. But it's great, and even Toshiko being like Japanese and how they react to her being in, and then like there's a great line. It's like Pearl Harbor happens like next year.
Yeah,
people are gonna come after me.
Yeah,
great line.
Yeah,
great. I love when Doctor Who does that, where they actually tackle themes of characters with different like skin tones would be, how they would be seen in olden times, which is a horrible thing that happened, but it's history. Matt has that beautiful line. It's history.
He does.
Yeah, and the whole Captain Jack stuff is actually really cool, I think.
I love, and I don't know why, these episodes set in like World War One and World War Two, mainly London, really grow on me more with time. Like the aesthetic, the production design, just this dance with all the Union Jacks hanging everywhere.
Yeah, before they get shipped off.
And everyone's like having this period of peace. Like the aesthetic of Empty Child on Dr. Dances, for me, is one of my favorites in Who.
Oh,
just
so good.
That time period it's set, I think, I don't know, it's just so unique.
You're right.
It's
really
so
is.
unique.
There's something really scary and spooky about how that actually happened in real life, and those young lads would just get sent away.
Yeah.
And it was their last night, and there's lines like tensions are high, they can send off tomorrow. And Jack takes his name, and that kind of ties into that. And yeah, and I think it's a really good episode. We got more from Tosh, which I really like. Even how she like sends the photo back to the present day, and they get photos at the dance hall, and they're in like the backlogs of Torchwood on their computers and stuff, because obviously it's history, and they pull up the files and stuff. Really cool stuff. When they play a time like that, I think it's awesome. Yeah. Really good episode.
I thought it was actually surprisingly spooky as well when they were walking through the hall and stuff. With Gwen, she can hear the music and stuff like that.
Really good episode.
The old man was spooky.
He is, yeah.
Once again, bits of it kind of felt like it had no villain because he was just so underutilized, which I didn't mind because it felt like we were just seeing conversations of...
next episode, it'll be good. I mean, it isn't, yeah.
But we were just seeing Jack, talk to the person whose name he took and things like that. Like, we got to see that, which was interesting, and it just had all these interesting concepts that made you not necessarily need too big of a villain. One thing that I thought was a bit silly, and I think they might have made a reference to it, but Gwen gets sent into this building on her own. I feel like that shouldn't happen.
That is
like
silly.
When two people have gone in and gone missing, you send one person in on her own.
It is dumb.
Is like
and there is that whole point where it's like all the calls of Sounds of Music was actually just that. I think it's Higgins. I can't remember. I'm just gonna call him Higgins. He was that guy who made all the calls. But when Gwen was up, she doesn't say she was from Torchwood. She's just like, oh, a couple of my mates got lost in there. Do you mind opening the doors? And he's like, of course. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, he just lets her in. Just like,
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
There is no one called Higgins on the cast list.
What the fuck was that?
It's probably just the wind.
Jeez, that scared the fuck out of me.
It's Higgins.
Is it Higgins?
No, there's the Bills manager, the captain,
Billis.
George. Billis. Oh, that's it. Billis manager. Billis
he was
manager.
really good. He was a great choice to cast. He's such a spooky guy.
He was. I would have liked to have seen more of him, but
and he's terribly utilized.
Yeah. Look, that's that one. I think it's solid.
Episode 12. I gave an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. That was directed by Ashley Way and written by Catherine Tregener. I think I'd said that she wrote the one before this one as well.
Really liked this episode.
So you gave it an 8?
Yep.
So did I. How lovely.
End of Days.
End of
Season
Days.
final.
Episode 13 carries directly on from episode 12.
Written by Chris
The rift is going on. Whoa. It's all... Everything's happening all at once. It's basically the wedding of River Song.
Yes.
You've got the soldiers in places. You got spaceships in place. It's so weird. This stuff doesn't feel like it's happening though, right?
It doesn't.
Like
That's
they're
so
like,
true.
This is happening in India. This is happening in Australia or whatever.
The spaceships.
It's terrible.
At the Taj Mahal.
But you don't actually see any of it happening. You get a bit of the Black Plague thing, which I think was a cool concept.
Roman soldiers and then a couple of weevils.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And of all things, weevils, it's like, they're great, but we've seen them a bunch of times.
I don't think it's a well-written episode at all.
No, I think it starts off with some decent concepts, and the fact that we see the team structure finally break down after a lot of build-up was pretty solid.
And then all hating Jack as
we
well.
did see Yanto shoot Owen in the previous episode, which we never said.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, they all turn on Jack, and Jack gets shot. And look, I basically said my thoughts earlier on this episode, but I think it gets really good in the middle, but I think the start is just underwhelming, and then the end is just bonkers shit.
The whole Reese thing is interesting and so sad, and because I love Reese.
Yeah, he should have found out in the finale. Everything had built.
No, it doesn't feel like it's going. It doesn't feel like it's going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is. It makes sense why they want to open the rift, and then they do, and then this big motherfucking monster comes out. It looks absolutely terrible, and I hate it. And I don't care why it's there. I don't care what Billis.
I don't understand the plot. I don't know.
He's like, I wanted to release my
whole life,
my life, to release this god, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. And he literally just disappears. You never see him.
I thought he was gonna get stood on.
Yeah, it's like,
but he didn't. I think a cool concept is the shadow.
Yeah, that's like, that
going
was
over
fun.
people
and I get it's a cool way for it to die. I was taking Jack.
That was obvious. That's like
and
a Doctor Who thing.
I don't mind it. I think
God
that was
forbid
cool.
Torch would do a Doctor Who thing.
It's not like it's connected. I guess it kills it, and then Jack takes through a comeback for some reason, and Gwen doesn't want to leave his side, and he gets shot on the head, so I guess the team now knows that he can't die.
I thought when he sacrificed himself, there was some cool bits, but I just didn't care for Jack by this point. Like,
yeah, fair enough.
It's the same argument that everyone says about Last Jedi, right? Where it's like, it's causing so much problems. Why did Holdo not just tell people the truth, right?
Yeah.
Why did Jack not go, right, like, what is wrong with saying he's a time agent from space? It's not like that shit's far-fetched after everything that they've been through this season. And like, you know, half the team now know that his name was someone else's name. Like, there's nothing that crazy about his backstory.
They've literally seen all kinds of fucking things. They're really not going to believe that. And
Honestly,
he doesn't even mention the Doctor, to the extent where, in the end of the episode...
The right kind of Doctor.
Which is so... Again, Chibnall was saying something, and then it happens just by coincidence. And then he doesn't mention it. And I think he might bring it up in season 2. He's like, I found the Doctor. But then that was it. And then you hear the TARDIS, which is kind of cool. I forgot about that.
But that was so weird and lame. Because, like, you hear the TARDIS...
And the wind's blowing.
The wind's going...
land in the hub. And then Jack disappears.
But he disappears like it did appear.
Did you see Jack?
It's crazy, man.
We didn't see him.
It's shit.
Someone's stolen Jack.
It's like, and this might be the case.
Picture app. Who knows?
Because this came out a little bit before Series 3.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where maybe... I think this, like, finished on New Year's Day or something, didn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah. There's... Probably have it here, actually. Yeah, 1st of January 2007. So Series 3 hadn't started yet.
Yeah.
So it could be one of those things where they were like... Where Russell was like, okay, Chib, we're going to have... Jack needs to be, like, on the outside of the TARDIS by this point. So just make sure that there is, you know, the TARDIS rocks up in Torchwood or something.
Where's
but they
Jack
didn't know exactly how they were going to do it.
We don't know. And that's it.
I don't know. It's weird. That
That's a
monster
wrap.
CGI was so shit.
It's terrible. Yeah. It's a shit final. I kind of...
It was like the shortest episode of the season as well, which was weird. And it felt like the longest.
Parts of it. I kind of like parts of it, but it tried to do way too much at once, and it maybe could have benefited from being a 2-part. I don't know, but
yeah, maybe yeah.
It was just badly written, and I hated that big CGI monster. The whole Billis character just...
Don't know where the monster came from.
Didn't know where it came from. The Billis character meant nothing, and a lot of stuff just wasn't solved. That being said, a very enjoyable season.
And it felt like it was trying to address things. Like, it tried to address the team dynamic. It tried to address Gwen having to tell Reese.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
But it didn't do any of them, because the dynamic is still fucked. They didn't... There's just like, Jack forgives Owen for shooting him. But there's no, this is who I am.
Yeah.
There's no, I'm sorry.
I think they do that in season 2.
Well, they should have done it in the finale.
No, I agree.
Right? Or at least done a stepping stone to that.
I agree with you. I think it should have been done.
The fact that, you know, Reese got told in a previous episode about what they do and then forgets. And now, like, he sees it a bit more. And then they forget. And he gets killed. And it's kind of emotional. And Gwen's really good.
Yeah, it is
Gwen, for me, is by far the standout of this season. She's my favourite character in this show. Yeah, and
Gwen is good.
I'd love to see more from her. I really would.
Gwen punched a Dalek on a bike.
Yeah. So dumb. That's like Revelation of the Daleks, isn't it?
Gwen punched a Dalek on a bike. Send him my love, Jack. Will do.
So dumb. Poor Gwen. But like I heard, I think before she did Broadchurch, that Eve Miles nearly quit acting because after Torchwood she couldn't get any more roles. And I was like, damn. Eve Miles is so good.
Sure.
Like, that's such a shame.
Classic Chris Chibnall. Do I get my rating?
No, you have not yet. This
5
is
5 out of 10.
5 out of 10. Just worth noting as well, this is
being kind.
Written by Chris Chibnall and directed by Ashley Way again.
Oh god, I'm gonna be so late.
You are gonna be late.
I'm gonna be so late.
You said 5?
Yes.
I also said 5. Ta-da! Yeah, it just didn't bring anything new. It didn't solve any problems. It was just a bit tragic. Okay, so let's move on to the one segment we're doing. So for this episode, it is Australia's favourite segment.
Yep.
It's time where we want to know what you guys think on Twitter and Instagram. It's time for Just Twitter Tings.
Let's go.
So, over in the Twitter sphere, baby, here's what we gotta say. So, for starters, I put out a basic poll, just asking, what's the vibe on Torchwood? Is it excellent? I love Sex Monster. It's fine? Is it's not great? Freaky JB, or it's shit A? And look, 14% said excellent, 57% said it's fine, and 29% said it's shit A. So, a bit of mixed stuff. Queen V, Vinny, the Vinster said, I like it, but not all of it. It's quite inconsistent with quality, but the strong eps are really strong. Ghost Machine, Countryside, and Captain Jack Harkness being the best eps in my opinion. I agree with Countryside and Captain Jack Harkness, but Out of Time should have been on there and not Ghost Machine. Vinny also messaged me and was like, why don't you like Ghost Machine?
Yeah, I do remember that, yeah.
Well, no, she actually DM'd me on Facebook about it.
Oh, okay. I saw you on Twitter. You were saying I'm missing something with Ghost Machine.
We started talking about it on Twitter, and then she messaged me about it and we had a chat. The Now That's What I Call Comedy podcast. Our boy Jacob said, to be honest, it's a bit shit. End of review. That was it. And then I have one more over from the boy Dylan, the man, the myth, the legend himself.
Big D.
He says he's got a long one. So let's see how we go here. Oh man, not sure if this is a controversial take, but I think Series 1 is an absolute mess. It's a show that's trying so desperately hard to convince you how mature it is, but ultimately it just comes across as edgy and pathetic, with most of the main cast being unlikable, aside from Ianto, Reese, and Tosh. It's filled with episodes that are honestly doggy-doo. I mean, we have Day 1, an episode that is embarrassingly shit, and I can't believe it aired on TV. Yeah, I agree. He talks about Small Worlds and the PS2 fairies.
Straight facts.
That kill pedos, and who could forget Combat? An episode so forgettable, the only thing I remember is that it was directed by Redacted.
Who's that?
Redacted.
Oh, okay.
Do you get it?
Yes, I do.
And then lastly, he says, there is some stuff to like about this first series. Ghost Machine is interesting. Out of Time is actually really interesting.
Yeah,
I revisit it often, and the Captain Jack reveal is good. It adds more depth to his character. Torchwood Series 1 is great. Isn't great, but it's weird that I'm saying this, but I don't think the show really gets going until Chris Chibnall picks up the reins as showrunner. Yeah, I'm not sure specifically how that role worked in Torchwood, the showrunning role, because from my understanding, he does write a lot, but I think
he takes over more in season 2.
I think he got a stronger producing credit or something.
I agree, though. Season 2 is definitely stronger.
Yeah. From my memory, I've only seen it once or twice a long time ago.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, really like this. I got 100% on if people like it.
Oh, really?
And I got Sex Ghost as a comment.
Sex Ghost.
But I do feel like people are a bit nervous to say what they think about it after the whole thing that happened. I do feel like people maybe just don't want to talk about it that much, and that's fair enough, because I thought maybe people would send in more stuff, but I guess some people just don't want to talk about it, and that's, if you don't want to, that's fair enough.
Look, I was a bit hesitant to do this episode anyways, but
it's history. That's history right there, you understand?
History in the making, this podcast.
By the way, I love on your box set it says Season 1, 2, Children of Earth, A Miracle Day. It doesn't say...
Not just 3 and 4.
1, 2, 3 and 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Everybody... I remember that Bob the Builder remix of that.
I do as well. Dude, Bob the Builder had the best soundtracks ever. There was literally
Scoop, Mark and
Did you watch the one with Elton John in it?
What? Elton John on my jumper? No,
yeah. Teddy Fresh is Elton John.
Well done, Aidan. Getting on it. You're getting some Teddy Fresh this year at some point.
Mm-hmm.
You don't like it?
You wouldn't catch me wearing that, Connor.
Really? That's tough.
I'm kidding. No, it's your style, but it's not my style.
Okay. I'll get you something from it.
Scary.
That's tough. That's tough. Get scary that I'll get Aidan some Teddy Fresh.
It is scary. All right, so after some quick math, very quick math, I must add.
Yeah.
I have Connor's score.
I'm definitely I get a guess. I'm gonna say 7.5. Is that right?
You're guessing 7.5.
Yeah.
Okay. So this average score that we just calculated is we've just added together all of my scores and all of Connor's scores to give you an average of what our scores have been throughout the season. So Connor guesses 7.5.
Yeah.
Right? Sorry, I don't know why I put that away. I still need it. So Connor gave Everything Changes a 7. Day 1 a 3, Ghost Machine a 5, Cyberwoman a 6, Small Worlds a 4, Countryside an 8.5, Greeks Bearing Gifts a 7, Keep Killing Susie 6, Random Shoots 4.5, Out of Time a 5.5, Combat a 6.5, Captain Jack Harkness an 8, and End of Days a 5. By the way, End of Days, I love how they literally say, it's not the end of the world. It's like called End of Days.
End of Days.
Connor, your overall series average is 5.84.
No way.
Or 5.85 if you round it.
Holy fucking smokes.
Yep.
Jesus.
Gee whiz.
It's a good indication of a low score again doesn't just mean that you hated the series.
But usually
really
like
find it
that kind of thing you'd get around a 6 where it's like it's not good and you didn't enjoy it, but it's not good and it's not well made, but it's still enjoyable.
I guess I just fucking hated it.
You just Connor hates Torchwood, confirmed. Look, Connor, mine ain't far from that. What do you reckon mine is?
A 6. Around 6.
I gave Everything Changes a 7, Day 1 a 4, Ghost Machine a 4, Cyberwoman a 5.5, Small Worlds a 6, Countryside an 8.5, Greeks Bearing Gifts I can't say that title, a 5, They Keep Killing Susie a 6.5, Random Shoes 7, Out of Time 8, Combat 7, Captain Jack Harkness 8, and End of Days a 5. Final series score is 5.77.
Wow.
So just below you, but I do think I liked it a lot less than you did.
Bit of a poo season, isn't it?
It is.
Season 2 and Children of Earth is like really good though.
Yeah.
Which I think is why.
Children of Earth, I know I'll love.
I think that's why. Because Russell comes back to write quite a lot of it. And I think that's why people regard
I think Euros Lynn directs a lot that.
Does he really?
I think he does, yeah.
Fucking crikey. I'm very keen for that. We're not going to get there for ages. But
I was told that we pronounce Euroslyn wrong.
Who said that, Dylan?
No, Trevor.
Trevor?
Yeah.
He watches the podcast?
Recently has, yeah.
No,
but he messaged me and was like, it's actually like Euroslyn or something.
Because he loves Euroslyn, hey?
He does, yeah. Euroslyn.
Because I remember he stand Euroslyn. That's amazing. I didn't know Trev watched the show.
Yeah, recently has been going through it, yeah.
Oh, thanks, Trev.
Thanks, Trev.
Miss you, man.
Welcome to the pod.
Shoot me a DM if you ever want to.
Why would he ever want to, Connor?
I'm
kidding. Holy fuck. Calm your farm. I just typed in Euroslyn expecting a video.
I wasn't even angry.
What?
I wasn't even angry. Like, calm your farm.
Shut the fuck up.
I think he directed a movie last year about horses, which is funny.
Man Loves Horses, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, what is your... did you have a couple of favourite episodes or least favourite episodes?
Countryside, least favourite, probably like Small Worlds or Random Shoes.
Really? Okay.
Countryside is really good. Greeks Bearing Gifts is really good. Captain Jack Harkness is great.
Yeah. Favourite, Countryside with Out of Time and Captain Jack Harkness being other solid episodes. Least favourite was probably Day 1.
Oh, God, sorry. How can I forget Day 1? Jesus.
So easy to do so.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for this wild ride.
We did a good job splitting up. Is that about an hour?
We are an hour 10.
Okay,
so
we did a pretty good job.
It was meant to be like 2 45-minute parts, but it's been 2 parts about each one about the length of the other episodes.
I'm interested to see what the viewership's going to be like. Cause
double views, right? Because we made double episodes. That's how it works.
They're like, 1 episode's enough, thank you.
That's right. Guys, I hope you guys enjoyed talking about Torchwood. We do intend to talk about this, come back to Torchwood, maybe later in the year. We'll do season 2 in a special.
Yeah.
And take it from there.
Sarah Jane, Class.
Yeah, we're going to do them. We're heading into doing more spin-offs. We're trying to shake up the show a little bit. But next up, we will have Legends of the Sea Devils.
Yeah, that's great. So next time you see us, we will be reviewing Legends of the Sea Devils.
Insane. Really cool. And that will drop on a Monday. It's going to be slightly later than our usual episodes because our episodes usually drop at 6 a.m. on a Monday, but we'll record that as soon as we can Monday morning and get it out.
Monday morning.
That's right. Smashing them.
Oh, you actually are?
If I have nothing else on and you do, then I will.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, if we've got nothing on.
Yeah,
All
I'll
right.
do it.
Okay. Easter Monday's normally a good chill-out day.
Yeah, with beers.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll do Legends of the Sea Devils, so that'll be great. That's so weird. I feel like we know so little about this episode, but
That's good,
it's
though.
literally the next
And
thing to
I've
do.
only watched the trailer, like, maybe once and
Well,
or
I
twice,
watched that footage a lot in the process
and I
of
watched your
editing.
breakdown, but I'm not going to watch it again. So.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers to that, big
Mine's
dog.
empty, but...
Oh, nice.
That's a
Yeah,
little bit.
so after that, straight on to Season 8, and I think when we finish Season 8, maybe we'll do maybe Season 2 or, like, of Torchwood or something like that.
And then Class at the end of
Class.
Season 9.
Yeah, something. And we want to do a bit of Sarah Jane and a bit more classic.
Sarah Jane in there at some point.
50%. Just winging it. I don't know why I closed this. I need the sounds. Guys, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor to send us in your reviews every week. And you can watch the videos along with bonus videos over on the YouTube channel at a 50%
Jesus. Doctor
Doctor Who podcast YouTube channel. My name's Aidan.
My name's Connor.
Incredible. And this has been 50% Torch. I just spat everywhere. 50% Torchwood Spectacular. Woo!
50, 50, 50. That's it. 50, 50, 50. 50, 50, 50.
Torchwood.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you at Sea Devils.
Can you believe there was a fucking
Baby.
sex monster in Doctor Who?
I can't, sadly.
Came and went.
He just came in. Captain Jack.